Right. So a couple of comments from me. First off, uh, I am not the biggest fan of it. Like for me, I struggle with the colors a little bit, just the way that it's presented. But if you double click on it and you look at the form, you go, well, why that spherical dome form? So you can make a prediction that it's going to be something to do with projections and projection mapping and 360 projections. So so in that sense, it's a bit of a giveaway of what you can kind of expect inside the space. And if you read the title that this is going to be, the trend of Apple moving into designing experiences beyond the product, that I don't know, it could be something that is a virtual tour of their factories, potentially a 360 tour. It could be some other kind of experience. Maybe you're navigating through their hardware, or I don't know, a much more immersive experience. So that's essentially what the form is sort of implying. In terms of the presentation of the object itself, can you scroll to the top, Brian? Yeah. So in terms of how the object is actually presented, there's nothing too mind-blowing. It's just sort of your typical, probably I imagine it's a sort of some sort of aluminium cladding, backlit, with some LEDs and changing LEDs, which is cool. And it's very Singapore. It's very Marina Bay Sands. So, flashy with lights, all that kind of thing. So there's not too much to really comment on the exterior, other than I'm not a fan of that red Apple logo color scheme. I don't know, just for me, I struggle a little bit with that. And yeah, the form is for, I imagine, a certain kind of experience that they're developing.
Yeah, totally. It's gonna be all about the interior on this. But okay, let's zoom out a bit. The Marina Bay Sands, that's like the place to hang out when you're in Singapore. It's the shopping center, the hawkers, food stalls, the cafes near this body of water. Like you can spend a whole day, you can spend several days just like walking around that area. It's a really nice place to spend your time, and there's like museums there, and it kind of reminds me of Epcot and Disney World a little bit, in the way that you can, in the way that you can explore this place. And I think this adds a really, I wouldn't say it adds something that's missing, but it adds something that definitely was, it's different. It's just different. It adds something that, as I said, they don't need it, but in the diversity, in terms of like when you think about what would be valuable to add that wasn't there before, I think this hits that spot quite well, because it's one of those places where you think oh, it already has everything, and so having just another Japanesey minimal, Apple store is always nice, but I think this is way cooler. I think they're trying to do some. I think they're trying to do some shit here. I don't know what it is, but it's like there'll be 20 people pitching projects at Apple for architectural projects, and then this is like one out of the 20 is like, let's do that. And then he just kept pushing it. And finally they're like, okay, fine, let him do the thing. And, it kind of looks like the Death Star. It's like a Blade Runner Death Star, but kind of positive. I love the color scheme, like, fuck it, It's if they're gonna go hyper, go hyper. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. It's you can access it on street level or from the bottom. I think from the shopping mall. So I imagine you could kind of go up and then have an experience, and then go down, and then join back with all the other stuff. And as Krishna said, I think it's what's on the inside that's going to, really be the highlight of this experience. The outside is, it can be many things, but it's a floating sphere thing. So I'm really curious what they're gonna do on the inside. It could be projection. It could be just screens. I don't know. But I think Krishna is probably right with his prediction. We shall see.
One of the things that this reminds me of a little bit is, if you go further up Marina Bay Sands, there's the Science Museum as well.
Yeah.
Which when I visited, they were doing some pretty incredible interactive projection-based experiences there as well. Which were actually really cool. Like that was I had a lot of fun there. The kids were having a lot of fun. There were these really cool exhibitions where the kids were coloring in these spaceships, and you scanned it underneath something. They took the color textures off that spaceship, and they wrapped it around a 3D model, and you could see it floating around on the screen. There was some really cool ideas going on there, and you could just see everyone having a lot of good time. So
exactly, man. And it's just like, when's the last time you saw a building with no windows? Intentionally, like, screw natural light. We don't need it. Not even a single window that I can see, right? Even with different domes, like it's usually not to this point where it's just like fully armored, like we don't want any light. So they must be, that's a statement in itself, I feel. So they must be pretty, like, this is Apple. I don't think they would like, this is a statement piece for them, and then it's saying something different from all the other buildings that they've done. And that's what's exciting.